Okay, I'm putting this in the start just because I felt like I need to say this. Obviously, this isn't actually us. This is us being characters. I'm just saying that now because, well, these are obviously exaggerated personalities. So, yeah, these aren't us.
Hey Dan, how you doing? Did we have homework?
What's that?
What's what?
Oh, fiddlesticks. Man, this happens all the time. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, man. This happens almost every day.
It's every day, bro.
Man, I'm so sorry, man.
It happens from time to time. You're gonna have to make it up to me somehow.
Oh, don't worry.
I have something that can repay for literally anything. Knowledge.
Great.
The first thing you need to learn is the scope and sequence of the content area, where the scope is the content and skills learned, and the sequence is the order in which they're learned.
So like, how addition is learned before multiplication?
That's my lovable little idiot.
What?
You really scoped that one out. Wait!
Did you know that there are 4 common places for the school that are literally necessary to be in every school? How about you try and say some of them?
The classroom, the bathroom,
Close, but not even close. The 4 are the student, the teacher, the subject matter, and the milieu.
But those aren't even places.
Back. What?
Nothing.
Well, what was the last word you said? It was like
The milieu. Yeah.
I thought you said mildew.
The milieu is the environment in which the learning takes place. And all these 4 elements together, even if one thing breaks, everything falls apart. You know, I actually did an interview for a student teacher about how he performed a lesson plan. I'll see that.
Sure not.
Okay, so, Dane? Okay, so you taught a lesson recently. What was the objective of it?
Yeah, the objective was that students would be able to define their vocab words correctly, and they'll also be able to find the grammar mistakes in a certain passage.
Okay. Boring, but whatever. And how prepared were you for this lesson anyway?
Well, I was pretty prepared because I knew all the words and I knew of all the mistakes that they could have made in the grammar, so I was pretty prepared to answer any questions they would have.
Now, in general, were the students engaged in these lessons?
Yeah, I think they were engaged because we played a Kahoot, and they were all having fun answering the questions during that, and they did their grammar practice pretty good too.
Okay. So, was the content of the lesson, was it even appropriate for the ages? Because, the cops are right outside the door, and I don't want to deal with them right now.
Well, most of the content was age appropriate. There were a few vocab words that I think were too easy, like access, and some of them were also too hard, but other than that, it was very appropriate for their age level.
Now, in general, because I know you didn't do this alone, what did you use to support your lesson anyway?
Well, I used a few things. Mainly, I used technology in the form of a Kahoot, but most of it was my own ideas.
Okay. Now, how could the lesson have been better? Anyway.
I think most of it went smoothly, but if there was something to improve, it's probably in my own ability, because if I was more prepared and if I was better able to connect to the students, I think it could have been a little bit better.
Yeah, you got that right. was a great interview. Crane?
Dan.
Bartholomew.
Close enough.
You know, Barney the Second, you should probably have some better humor, Maybe use some puns.
You know what? That's a good idea. Thank you.
I guess that was kind of helpful. Oh, he's dead. You alive? Alright, well, can I, get paid for you hitting me with your car?
When making a lesson plan, you need to have, 3, characteristics, to make sure that's, good. You know what those 3 are?
No.
Okay. So it's student interest, student readiness, and the learning profile.
So, what are they?
So student interest is obviously how you differentiate your plan to interest the students and make them more interested in your lesson. And then you have student readiness, which is how the students will be ready for the lesson and just how the skills and stuff they'll learn. And then you have the learning profile, which is how the students prefer to learn or how they choose to present how they learn.
Presents, as in Christmas, is just a week away.
Alright, you're going. Goodbye.
No.
It's only October. You know what a unit plan is?
No.
A unit plan is actually comprised of several lesson plans. It's all mixed into one, and it's that for a reason, so that students can learn the best. You know how long they last?
No.
Usually they last from 1 to 4 weeks. It's long, isn't it? But usually they last 2.
Okay.
That plan's an absolute unit. Wait, come on. No.
You know the 5 elements of essential questions?
Why are you here?
They don't have one obvious answer. I also raise other important questions.
Can I, repeat these?
They're just philosophical or conceptual ideas.
Guess not.
They show up naturally, several times, let me tell you. And they're going to be interesting to the students.
Okay.
Before we hear more about that, let's take a second to hear a word from our sponsors. McDonald's. I'm loving it.
You bet, man. I'm loving it, baby.
We're not even sponsored.
Evan! Man, I haven't seen you in ages, bro.
It's been 10 minutes. Why do you keep following me everywhere?
Anyway, we get to talk about the 8 components of a unit plan. No, it's a lot of info. I need to look on this phone that I steal from a 7-Eleven in order to get it. So, do you mind if
I don't care. I'm not listening to you.
Oh, okay. So you have the rationale and the overview. That's the first big one. Where the rationale is the reasoning for teaching the content as a unit, while the overview is how you prepare the general necessities for teaching the unit and deciding where it fits into the scope of the sequence. Then you have the goals and the essential questions, which reflect the learning objectives and focus of the unit. You have the targets, which are used to guide the daily and long-term planning. You have the outline of the content or scope, which is where you break down the key concepts and underlying categories in a unit. You have things like the calendar, which is the sequence of the content and shows when each lesson will be taught. You have daily lesson plans, which are the individual lessons that make up the unit on a daily basis. You have things like the assessments and the evaluations, which are the methods you use to determine if the students learned what you wanted them to, and they should come from unit goals and targets. And then finally, you have the materials and resources, which are anything you use while writing and teaching your unit.
That was a lot to take in.
One wasn't even whatever.
Wait, Evan, wait. I didn't even teach you everything. About interdisciplinary plans. How they can connect courses together by focusing on a singular topic. Students can connect themselves to learn more about each content area in a better way and connect them to a real world premise.
That sure is interesting. Is that an interdisciplinary plan right there?
Wait, what? Wait, Evan! Evan! You're really fast, you know? See?
Finally.
Hey, I didn't even teach you about the components of a lesson plan. Oh man, the 9 components of a lesson plan. This one's giant. You have stuff like the lesson targets, which are for the specific learning targets made for the lesson, of course. Then you have the language targets, which are targets that focus specifically on language. And then you have the assessment of 3 types: diagnostic, formative, summative, which allows students to show what they've known, what they've learned, and what they've been able to retain, and they're closely related to the targets. And then you have initiation, which mostly focuses on how you make your students anticipate the objectives for the lesson, right? And then you have the teacher activities, which refers to the various different activities the teacher will complete during the class period, which includes how you teach, where you stand, so much more. And then you have the student activities, which put more emphasis on what the students are doing during the teacher activities. And then you have the closure, right, which is the marks at the end of the class period, and how the students and the class should end, which is the opposite of the initiation, of course. And then you have the materials and resources, which are mostly just a list of all the materials and resources. We're obviously still important. And then we have the reflections, which help you to look inward and see how the lesson went, including what you did well, what you may not have done so well, and what went completely wrong. Oh, Evan! Evan! Oh, man! Okay. You know how important it is to reflect before and after making a lesson, you know? You have to see, you know, on your previous lessons and on the lesson you're making afterwards, you have to see what worked and see what worked and continue doing what worked and changing it around, you know? And you can then see what unfortunately didn't work. Everyone makes mistakes, we're all human. And you can see what didn't work. And you can try and change that to see if it really worked.
Reflection? Don't you need a mirror for that?
Well, Dan, maybe you should reflect. You've followed me around all day. You've done nothing but tell the worst jokes I've ever heard, and just been a general annoyance. What happened to you? I saw that interview in there. You used to be okay. What happened?
I did used to be normal. I was a good teacher. But then he told me to make puns. He told me that students like humorous teachers, and it ruined my life.
Sorry, man. Just lay off with the terrible puns from now on, alright?
Okay.
Wait, Evan! I didn't teach you about one last thing.
What?
You know, the 3 types of reflection.
In action, on action, for action.
But I didn't even get to explain it.
In action happens during the lesson. On action happens after the lesson. For action helps you improve the lesson.
Wait, but Evan, how did you know that?
Dude, we're in the same class. You're so focused on what's being taught, you don't pay attention to anyone else in the class. Yo, before you go, are you going to actually pay me for hitting me with your car?
I thought my info was good enough, even better than any sort of payment that I could give you.
Okay. Say, there's an interdisciplinary planning going on in the building over there.
There is?
If you want to go check that out real quick, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I swear, I tried to find it, but I didn't.
Can't believe I finally got rid of that guy. And I got a brand new car.
Hi, Evan.
Are you kidding me?
Reflection.
You already broke. Come on! Why is that so difficult? This is so difficult.
I remember. Reflection. Don't you need a mirror for that?
You know what? Maybe you should do some reflecting. You've done nothing but follow me around.
God damn it.
Reflection. Don't you need a mirror for that?
You know what? Maybe you should do some reflecting then.
It's getting worse. It's getting worse.
Reflection. Don't you need a mirror for that?
You know what then? Maybe you should do some reflecting.
You keep breaking at that.
Reflection. Don't you need a mirror for that?
You know what then? Maybe you should do some reflecting. You've done
Stop smiling.
Reflection. Don't you need a mirror for that?
You know what then? Maybe you should do some reflecting.
Why is it always that one? You can't even get past like the first line. Like when we do it now, it's even worse. How are you